Right. Sonic Crossworlds. Today's video, I'm basically just going to talk about my first impressions with the game, what I like, what I don't like, that kind of thing, and whether I'm going to skip that because I don't know if it's gonna. I don't know if it's gonna give me any like copyright stuff. But yeah, we're just gonna talk about what is Sonic Racing Crossworlds. Why do I think it's so cool? And yeah, we're basically just gonna go over what I like about the game, some stuff that I don't like about the game, and yeah, basically that's about it. Starting off with things I do like. I like this, and I don't like it. The customization is a mixed bag because every character has their own this video is going to be very scattershot. I don't really have like any notes or anything written down. Basically, all this is just me coming in here and just giving my thoughts, but it just as and how they come into my head. And the big thing for me is like with customization in this game, every character has their own set kart. However, you don't have every character's kart unlocked with every character. So their karts aren't exactly... So like you'll have, for example, you've got Knuckles' kart, Knuckles' kart here, right?
Let us begin.
You've got Zavok's kart. You've got Vector's. And then if you go to modify, the other karts you have to are available with in-game currency. So they're not paid, but they're unlocked. So you don't have... You have every character at your disposal, but you don't have every kart and every kart part. And you have to buy the front, the back, and the tyres separately. I'm glad that it's not monetized. It's not added to like an in-game purchase. But I would have liked every character to have at least one unique kart to themselves and have their own unique upgradables or unique things that they can add to it. Like something like a Sonic Tag Team Racing or Team Sonic Racing, where where each character has their own unlocks. What Team Sonic Racing doesn't have that this game does have is just a bigger roster. I think Team Sonic Racing had 4 teams of 3. It had Team Sonic, Team Dark, Team Chaotix, and the three bad guys. Zavok, Eggman, and I think Metal Sonic. This one has... This one has even more, because it's got Sage, who I just don't know. This is a character I'm just not familiar with. I think she's in Frontiers, but I haven't played Frontiers. Eggporn, which is funny. It's funny that Eggporn is a playable character. Metal Sonic. And you've got the Sonic Riders trio, and you've got the Sonic Forces 3, and Hatsune Miku, my favourite Sonic character. I might as well get all of the stuff to do with this page out of the way first. I like that there's crossover characters. I don't quite understand the choice. The choices that have been made. I don't necessarily understand them. Because I get it's trying to harken back to like Sonic, Sega All-Stars Racing, but these characters aren't necessarily Sega characters. And I think it's just weird choices. Hatsune Miku doesn't make any sense. Joker makes next to no sense. Ichiban Kazuka, no sense at all. Steve and Alex and a creeper from Minecraft. Why Minecraft has the most amount of has the most crossover representation, I don't know. And then you've got frickin' SpongeBob and Patrick. And then even later on, Mega Man and Proto Man. It's weird. They're weird choices, and apparently like Avatar as well. It feels like Fortnite. It makes the game feel like Fortnite. It feels like Fortnite. It feels like Mortal Kombat 1 or like any like kind of Mortal Kombat, where the guest characters just kind of don't make sense. At least with there's a theme. These are just whoever we could get the rights to. Whoever we could get the rights to, we're putting in the game. Am I excited to play as Joker? Sure. The actual, like, allure of having characters like that would be if they play differently. But from what I've seen, at least, there's very little that is... There's very little that is actually, like, differentiating someone like Shadow from someone like Omega. Like, yeah, power characters are like going to feel slower and they're not going to have as much acceleration. But I don't feel like I'm doing necessarily better with someone like Sonic as opposed to someone like Knuckles. I don't feel like I'm doing necessarily better with like, say, SBO over Vector. In fact, I feel like I'm doing better with the power characters. What I will say though is using someone like Jet, someone like Wave, someone like Storm. they have an advantage, and I feel like the boost archetype, which is what you have when you're using like a board instead of a cart, those kind of characters and that vehicle is probably the best way to go. So we are going to go into some gameplay. That's about all the things that I really don't like. But outside of that, yeah, we're gonna change character because I don't love. I'm gonna play as Vector. Just gonna wait for more people to show up. This could take a while. I haven't actually done any matchmaking. Dumper Factory, White Springs, Urban Canyon. I'm gonna go Dumper Factory. These are all in the these are all in the last. Someone's got the werehog. Someone's got the werehog. Hey, Dumper Factory. Yeah, overall, I do think the game is good. I do like the game. Do I think it's worth full price? Or, like, do I think the digital deluxe version is worth it, which is the version that I have? Not to, like, rub it in anyone's face. I never like to do that. But I would say if you're skeptical and you're not like a big Sonic fan or kart racing fan, I would say wait. I would say wait for a sale. Because at the moment, there isn't a huge amount of content for the game. And that's probably the only, or the big, like, glaring thing to me that is, like, actually the big glaring, like, issue to me is, like, just a lack of actual, like, content. Because you've got the Grand Prix. I'm doing terribly. You've got the Grand Prix. And you've got, like, time trial. But in terms of, like, actual single player content outside of that, there's not much. I didn't come last. I'm happy about that.
That wasn't a practice run.
I'm happy with not coming last.
There you go.
Yeah, I'd say overall lack of single player content, and really a lack of multiplayer content as well. Because like, this is the single player content, and even then, Race Park is recommended for multiplayer. So you've got Grand Prix, you've got Time Trial, and that's about it. Now there are quite a few Grand Prix.
I'm on the case.
And what's cool is this rival system. So like with every race, or with every Grand Prix, at the start of every Grand Prix, you're given the choice between one of two rivals. Like here I could face Big and stay at the same difficulty level of rival as I've had previously. Or I could change the difficulty level and go up one, go against SBO. And that is a really cool mechanic. So like, you'll have every other racer, and then you'll have one racer that is like gunning for you specifically, and they're usually the racer that will either be in first or second, depending on how well you're doing. I'm not going to play a Grand Prix because I've been going through the Grand Prix over on Twitch. So if you aren't already watching the Twitch streams, go right on over ahead and give me a follow over there. But yeah, that's the rival system. Probably the last thing that I'm going to talk about is the actual controls. It's something that will, if you're a kart racer person, or kart racing person, and you're just into racing games in general, and you're used to how a usual racing game, like, controls, how the controls of a usual racing game are mapped out, then you're probably going to have to, break some rules in your own head with how this game works in terms of like controls and stuff, because Accelerate is on X, which is something that I haven't known for a while. I don't want to do that. Something that I haven't played a racing game, any kind of racing game, not even a kart racer, where Accelerate has been on X for a while. It's just something to like recalibrate your mind to, and it's just a thing to like think about. The weirdest thing for me was Drift being on R2. So for the first like hour that I was playing the game, I kept like every time I wanted to drift, I was accelerate. Every time I wanted to accelerate, I was drifting. Yeah, it's just something like if you've been playing a lot of other kart races, and then you go onto this, just got to keep in mind that the control scheme is weird, and there's no way to change acceleration to. There's no way that I found to remap buttons, so it's just something to get used to, because every other every other option for acceleration is either accelerate on X, accelerate on circle, or accelerate on R1. And then you're accelerating, and the button right under your accelerator is your drift. So weird. That's something that I can't really wrap my head around. X is the best one for me. There might be a lot of people in the comments, or a lot of people listening to this that'll be like, that doesn't sound too weird at all. Why would that be weird? It's just, you know, something to, if you're used to accelerate being on R2, this game is not that. The control scheme for this game is not that. So just be aware of that going in, and like the way that your hand is actually going to be positioned as you're playing. It's not that big of a deal. I'm making it a much bigger deal than it actually is. It's just sometimes you might forget, or you might be trying to accelerate and be like, oh, that's the drift button, or trying to drift and, oh, that's the item button. After an hour of playing the game, you'll probably be fine though. Yeah, I was. Anyways, that being said, items in this game are fine. I don't think there's anything super annoying. Maybe the like saw thing, the star like Beyblade looking thing, which saws your cart in half. That's what's messed me up the most, because not only does it stun you, but it actually slows you down for like a couple seconds, for like a second after you're done, and that's enough to completely fuck up your game. But that's all I really have to say for Sonic Crossworlds. I think it's good. I think the actual way that the game plays, with having a lap, then a lap that's in a completely different environment than another lap of the track that you started on. It's a really fun way of doing a game like this. I really like how I really like the core gimmick of the game, and the core the core structure of how races go in this game. I really like. So I would say if you've been playing Mario Kart World, or you've been playing Disney Speedstorm, or any of those kind of kart races, and you're just looking for something different, this is probably the way to go. But I would not spend 80 quid on it. I would not spend 80 quid on it. I would not spend even 60 quid on it. I would probably say wait for a sale, wait for this to get a little bit cheaper, because for the amount of content that's in the game right now, I don't think it's necessarily worth full price. This isn't worth the price of like a Ghost of Tsushima, or like a... This isn't... or Ghosts of Yotei, even. I wouldn't... And this currently is the same price as like a Ghost of Yotei. When we're looking at this coming out the same month as Hollow Knight 2, or Hollow Knight Silksong, and that game being 15 quid and giving you as much as it does, this I wouldn't say is even in the same ballpark, and being like triple the price. If you're someone if you know that you're going to be spending a lot of time online with this, if you're the kind of person that does like going into online multiplayer with, and like ranking up, what I will say is there is a very big cast of characters. The amount of tracks for the start of the game is really good. I think there's about 25 tracks in the game at the moment, not counting the amount of interlude tracks, or the amount of interim tracks, or like possible lap 2s. And they're all good tracks. All of the tracks in this game, I think, are really good in quality. There are no duds that I've seen so far. And I think it's only going to get better with like new tracks that get added to the game as well. And you know, there is plans way into next year for content with this game, so I don't think it's going to be dry of content. But what I would like to see is more single player stuff. Do I have any ideas for what single player stuff could be in the game? I don't know. Maybe a story mode. I think a story mode probably is the only thing that this game is actually missing, because it's only got the Grand Prix. But I think there's enough here if the game was 40. If the game was 40 and the digital deluxe edition was 60 or like 50, I would say there's enough here for that. At the moment I can't justify going out and buying this for £60. That's the only thing I would say. But I would say this is still a very good kart racer, and I would say that it's worthy competition for Mario Kart World. Looking at Mario Kart World right now, people aren't too happy with it. People are saying that it's quite boring. This game may have shortcomings, and this game may have some decisions that make you go, huh? But I don't think... But boring is not what I would call it. So when it comes to the big... mascot races at the moment, this is definitely... This wipes the floor with Disney Speedstorm. Wipes the floor with it. But I think it could be worthy competition with Mario Kart. Not Mario Kart 8. Mario Kart 8 is a completely different beast. I think, ask me that question in a year. We may have more to talk about then. As of right now, this is a good package. I wouldn't call it amazing. I wouldn't call it excellent. I wouldn't say it completely wipes the floor with Mario Kart World and makes that game null and void. I would, however, say that this is worth your time, but I would wait for it to be a little bit cheaper. But it works, there's no bugs. I haven't encountered any bugs. It looks pretty good. It does look like a Switch 2 game. Well, like the chows look a bit weird. And the frame rate isn't amazing. It's not like what you would expect from like a PS5 or PS5 Pro. It looks like a PS4 game, which is like fine. At least it doesn't look like a PS3 game. And like with this like more cartoony aesthetic, it works. And that's all I really have to say about it. Yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Hopefully you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments below if you've been playing Sonic Crossworlds and if you've been enjoying it. Head on over to my Twitch streams. I will be playing this game quite a lot this month. We have quite a stacked month. October looks very stacked in terms of like games and things that I'm going to be actually doing over on Twitch. So I will see you guys over there. Bye.